Hi, hello, sound check.
Hey guys, are we ready?
Six rounds.
12 races.
Tough competition.
Real racing.
From Bahrain to Saudi Arabia.
Iconic tracks.
And breathtaking destinations.
This is the second season.
This is
The Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East.
We're ready to go.
That's it?
That's it.
Hello and welcome everybody all over the world. It's Marina again. It's round 4 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East and it's the second race day here at this fabulous racetrack. And with me it's a young man from the Netherlands. We know him from the Porsche Super Cup in Europe. He's the current Porsche Super Cup rookie champion, Robert de Haan. Robert, and you're not racing here, so tell us, what exactly are you doing here in Marina with the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East?
Yeah, unfortunately not racing myself, but that's fine. Helping Alexandra Fateva here, being here as a coach, of course always better than staying at home. Being in the country here with the nice weather, all the people around, and still with the Leckner racing people is just good. And always being on a racetrack, I think is the best way to go.
Yeah, is that also a good preparation for you? I mean, it seems like your advice has really worked because we just finished qualifying and she did really well. She's second in class, 7th overall. It seems like you're really helping her to do step after step.
Yeah, she's definitely improving, so it's good to see that as well, and it motivates me more, of course, to even push her more. So yeah, the speed is coming now. Of course, still in the races there are some things that she still has to learn because yeah, it's only her second year of racing, of course. But yeah, I'm quite sure I can give her some over of my tips, and hopefully she can even go into the top 5 later today.
And we've seen on social media that you published you will be in the Porsche Super Cup again this season. How much are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward. It was not a really hard question for me, I would say. Yeah, staying with the Pink family and Robert and Walter and Michael, all the people around, they've always been supporting me last year already, and I think it's the best environment to be. So it was an easy choice for me, and I am really thankful for them that they have the trust in me for upcoming season. And I think the goal that we have is quite clear. So yeah, full focus for the season.
And you could do at least a few installation laps here. So how important is that to at least stay a little bit in the GT3 Cup car?
Yeah, it was a boring 1.5 months, 2 months for me. Of course, I was like, whoa, when can I get back in the car? So yeah, only done 5 to 6 laps maybe back over the 2 test days, but yeah, straight away got back in the rhythm and it feels good. So definitely ready for upcoming season.
Thank you, Robert, and looking forward to seeing you in the Porsche Super Cup again this year. Thank you. And as mentioned, there has been a race already yesterday. So we're going to show you the highlights of the race, and then we will be back on the grid. So enjoy.
One race down at Yas Marina, one still to go this weekend. Welcome back, everybody, to the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi here in the UAE for our second race of the weekend for the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East for the 2024-25 season. We're into the second half of the campaign, our fourth outing of the 24-25 calendar. We've already had rounds at Bahrain, at Qatar, and last weekend, just 7 days ago, at the Dubai Autodrome. This is our UAE doubleheader that we're rounding off this afternoon. As you can see, the weather is just about perfect. 23.2 degrees, about 53% humidity, track temperature 25 degrees, and it's warm, it's blue skies, clear in the air, absolutely perfect to go Porsche Carrera Cup racing here in the UAE. Scott Woodward's here to guide you once again through all of the action, whether you're watching around the world or watching trackside. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening to those online, and to all of you watching around the circuit. Fingers crossed you're in for another entertaining half an hour or 14 laps of racing, whichever comes first. The racing yesterday was interrupted by a safety car, but still as action-packed as ever. And another victory for championship leader Janis Stiak, making it 6 wins from 7 races. He will bid to make it 7 from 8 this afternoon, but he almost ran out of time in qualifying. He had to really go for it with one single flying lap, and he managed to get the lap in that put him on pole by 4.5 tenths of a second. Wasn't quite the lap record pace that he set yesterday, as his pole time in Q1 for race 1 was enough to break the lap record set by his championship-winning teammate from last year, who's not here this season, but Teo Overhaus set the lap record for the Yas Marina circuit in a Porsche Cup car in this championship, but he was able to break that by 2 tenths, so 154.7. So he is still the man to beat. Just 17 years old. He's the youngest driver in the championship and certainly the fastest at this point. There are plenty of interesting storylines in qualifying earlier on this morning, particularly when we had a red flag after a stoppage out on track. And that meant that we had just 4.5 minutes for drivers to go out there and set a flying time. And there were quite a few drivers that hadn't set their best lap time. So it really was a one-shot or two-shot showdown for plenty of the drivers on the grid. And that means that we've got 1 or 2 who are definitely out of position and lower or higher up the grid than we would expect. Janis Stiak will start on pole position. The man who started alongside him on the front row in race 1 yesterday, the young Australian Caleb Sumich, will be back on P2 once more. Angus Whiteside will be back up there in 3rd place. But then there are 1 or 2 drivers who are either further up than yesterday or further back. Alessandro Giannone, who won the Masters category yesterday and his first appearance in the championship, in one of the 2 Enrico Fulgenzi racing machines from Italy. He managed an excellent 5th fastest, set some really strong sectors across the qualifying session, and ended up in the top 5. One driver that was frustrated from qualifying certainly was James Wallace. It was his lowest qualifying spot of the entire season. The next lowest had been 5th from qualifying in Bahrain, when that was his 2nd fastest lap time from the session, as it was supporting the World Endurance Championships. That was one single qualifying. But he starts back on the 3rd row. Now, he's always pretty much outside that, especially for the last 5 races, has started either 2nd or 3rd on the grid and has always gotten a quick start. And he is a demon starter, so watch for him from the 3rd row of the grid. You can guarantee that James will not stay there unless he gets boxed in by the cars in front and has some trouble. The big story in terms of someone further back than they really should be is back in 14th place. The Pro-Am points leader, Saud Al Saud, who won the class yesterday, starting back in 14th. And he's got a monumental task to try and get up the order from the 7th row. He's going to have to really pick his way through the Masters drivers in front of him and then potentially even get to the tail end of the Pro-Ams in as quickly a time as possible. Now, the fact that he's further back in the grid than he usually is means it's a great opportunity for the cars around him in the Pro-Am battle to try and take the victory. One driver who will take full advantage of that is his Saudi racing teammate and fellow Saudi countryman, Khaled Al Ahmadi. He will start from 4th on the grid, and he has the best possible chance of winning the category. In terms of his results, he has had some strong finishes up there in the mix. He has beaten Saud a couple of times. In particular, he beat him in race 1 yesterday, or earlier on in the race, but we'll talk about that more later on. For now, though, let's head down to our roving pit reporter, Eric Engessa, who has an interview down in pit lane. Eric, who do you have?
Thank you, Scott. It's getting loud here in the pit lane as the cars go out, but I'm here with Thorsten van Haster and the team principal of GP Elite. We see Søren Sprague in the back, who always has great starts. So what can we expect today?
Well, I expect this lead getting 1 or 2 places after the start. This is the last couple of races always happening, so it should be possible.
And I think we can say, it's fair to say that the championship in the Pro-Am class, it's so exciting. Are you also surprised how much battling and fighting we see there?
Yeah, no, it's very good. I think especially with the Saudi team, they made very good steps. I think everybody is getting closer to each other, so it will be exciting races today.
And I could also imagine, heads off for a great achievement of Alex Mateva. She's second in class after qualifying, and her instructor is from the Netherlands. He's the current rookie champion. The Super Cup seems like it's a good combination.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's doing a very good job because she's making very good steps. It was very nice to see that she's now really mixing into the field.
Thank you very much. Good luck for the race, Thorsten van Hasteren. And then we've seen the car is going out. Søren Spreng, who's fighting for the victory in the Pro-Am class. Up to you, Scott.
Thank you on that one, Eric. Yes, good to hear from the Team Boss of GP Elite and one of a few crack squads that are competing in Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, including Proton Huber competition and GT Sports Technology as well. And it's good also that we've had, as I mentioned, the Enrico Fulgenzi squad across from Italy. They've been out here in the last few weeks competing in endurance mode in the two Middle East trophy races in the 24-hour series, the Dubai 24 hours, and even here last weekend in the Abu Dhabi 6 hours. So plenty of track time. If they haven't got used to the circuit after 6 hours of the Yas Marina circuit in endurance mode, then certainly using all that to good in qualifying at least has been a benefit, particularly for Alessandro Giannone, who put that car in 5th on the grid. And also a top effort from Andrea Girondi. He was just outside the top 10 and will certainly hope to move forwards if he can in the Pro-Am class. We should mention that both of those drivers and also the fellow debutant this weekend, Shihab Al-Habsi, for Proton Huber competition, all three of those drivers are invisible for points. They are all guest drivers, and that means that no matter what happens in the race, regardless of where they finish, they will be invisible for point scoring. So if any drivers finish behind them, then any drivers, the points that they would score will essentially go up as if they finished one position, if that makes sense. So those three will be looking to get some good results and some bragging rights going into the last part of the championship. The cars are making their way around the Yas Marina circuit, as I mentioned, just shy of 5.3 kilometres. It is the full 16-turn Grand Prix circuit in use. It's went through a couple of changes towards the last few seasons, but it's been operating since 2009, held its first F1 World Championship Grand Prix in the same year, and since then it's become one of the leading circuits and one of the standard bearers for modern Grand Prix venues ever since it was constructed. And it's an established part of not just racing in Dubai, racing in the UAE, but of course racing in the Gulf region. As you can see, there are plenty of supporters and personnel down on the grid. It's been a well-supported event here in Abu Dhabi. Great to have so many people around, not just for the teams, but also for plenty of customers and supporters and members of the various different Porsche clubs and classic car clubs that are around here. We had a fantastic classic car parade yesterday after qualifying, which was full of magnificent old 911s, particularly, as that would be quite key to see. Well, whilst you ponder that, Eric is down on the grid with another interview. Let's see who he has down at the front of the field.
Thank you, Scott, and I am on the grid now, and this is, I have to say, again, the pole setter, the winner of yesterday's race, the man who's dominating the championship, Jannis Diak, 17 years old from Germany, again on pole position. I'm here with the CEO of the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, Walter Lechner, and mentioning this young man who's really dominating the championship. It's amazing. Today we had a red flag and it was really exciting, but again, he really managed to be on pole again. I think it's just well, a tremendous job he's doing.
Yes, that's for sure. I want to welcome all in Abu Dhabi for the 6th round of the Carrera Cup. It was a really great qualifying today. Janne could manage the last 2 minutes to get on pole again, but also Kalim, they did a good job, and we saw great racing yesterday. I'm looking really forward to this race today, and thanks to all the spectators, thanks to Porsche Abu Dhabi being here, having a great event and this great facility. Enjoy, and let's see that we have a good race.
Thank you very much, Walter. Of course we will enjoy it. Thank you, and let's have a quick chat with our pole setter again. Janne, I'm running out of questions, I must admit, because you're so dominant again on pole position. I could imagine you're getting used to that feeling right now.
Yeah, again on pole, but it was a bit hectic, the qualifying with the red flag. But yeah, in the end, I'm standing here again and try to get a good start, yeah.
Conditions are perfect, sun is shining, wonderful track. Well, prepared for another big trophy?
Yeah, of course, that's the goal if you start from pole position.
Good luck, Janne. Thank you very much. Good luck for the race. And Scotty, I'm looking for another chat. And meanwhile, up to you.
Thank you, Eric. Good to hear from Walter Lechner Jr. from Lechner Racing. And of course from our pole sitter once more, Janis Stiak. And he's absolutely right. The fact that they are kind of running out of superlatives and of questions to really understand exactly how to describe the dominance that he's had. One driver we certainly can talk about is this young man, Caleb Sumich, the Australian driver, only here for the 2 UAE rounds as far as I'm aware, and he's been making quite an impact already. Took two fourth places at Dubai. Then he also picked up his first podium yesterday in race number 1. And I think we can head back down to Eric, who's going to have a chat with the young Australian on the grid.
Yes, Scott, as you mentioned, first podium yesterday. Caleb, well, that was a great race, and now on front row, what is possible? Even maybe the first victory for you in the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East?
Yeah, we'll try our best. We'll just focus on getting a good start and just having a nice clean race, and then focus on some things that we worked on from the last race.
Conditions perfect, and well, we've seen a safety car yesterday, so what kind of race do you expect now?
Yeah, there's always a possibility of safety car. As long as we get off the line well and we race well and we have good pace, and if there's a safety car, then, you know, never know what's going to happen. So, but yeah, it should be a good race.
Good luck, Caleb. Thank you very much. The man from down under on front row, second position for him on the grid, and again, up to you, Scott.
Thank you, Eric. Good to hear from Caleb, feeling confident as ever, and hopefully he can do well. One driver also hoping to do well is this man, Angus Whiteside. Better qualifying than yesterday, picked up third fastest for Proton Huber competition, and the Porsche Carrera Cup GB Pro-Am champion from last year will certainly hope to take full advantage of the fact that one of his main rivals, his fellow Brit James Wallace, didn't have the best of sessions back in 6th, and we'll talk about that briefly. But Angus has had some pretty good form in the last few races, 2 podiums back at Dubai. And throughout the season, in terms of his finishing positions, he hasn't finished a race lower than 6th. So good form all through the race so far. Sorry, looking for his race lower than 4th. So he's done pretty well in that sense. Pro-Am pole position goes to this man, Khaled Al-Ahmadi. And you have to say, given where his teammate is, there's a chance he might well be favourite for the Pro-Am victory. So we'll watch out for him, the man in 4th position. Excellent effort from those guys. And then a car definitely that we need to watch out for that's starting back in 5th is James Wallace. Before we get to him, let's head back down to Eric on the grid with another character to interview here in Yas Marina.
Yeah, as I'm here with a 4 times race winner in the Porsche Super Cup, and here he is, the driving standard advisor, taking care of all the young guns here. As we see to our left side is Khaled Al-Ahmadi, who is on 4th position, and we see the Porsche Junior GB right behind him, James Wallace. And well, I could imagine you're really looking forward to seeing those young guns racing here now.
Yeah, I think the qualifying was a little bit disrupted from the red flag, which meant a couple of lap times from drivers. They didn't quite extract the optimal from the car. So certainly the race will produce some exciting racing, and of course Yas Marina, a circuit with a lot of high-speed straights and very heavy braking zones. It means there's a lot of opportunity to overtake. So certainly something worth watching. And
well, we've often spoken about this fabulous racetrack here in Abu Dhabi, where the Formula One is at home and has its season finale. A perfect preparation, I could imagine, for all these young drivers to be on that track here.
Yeah, there's nowhere quite better than it, to be fair honest, to prepare during the winter season. Of course, the climate's fantastic. Not to mention the facilities, and the track itself is a joy to drive for every driver. And it's got a real mixture of, you know, high-speed corners where there's a lot of runoff, but also in Sector 3, it's very closed off. You've got the walls nice and close. So it means in qualifying, the drivers really got to flirt with the barriers and take a bit more risks than normally they would do. And obviously, yeah, the driver that takes the most risk usually gets rewarded.
It's great to see so many people here on the grid, and what we've seen in the race yesterday, that we have 3 different classes, but it seems that the level of competition is really high.
Yeah, incredibly high, and I think the series has got the classes itself for each individual driver just right, because every race, you know, the battle for the podium positions is incredibly close, not only just from the Pro class category, also in Pro-Am and the Masters, so certainly it's something worth sticking around for.
Maybe we go together to the Porsche Junior GB, so that's, well, you have been the Porsche Junior GB. How much pressure is that to deliver?
Yeah, of course, you got the support from Porsche Great Britain. Obviously, the best way to repay them is repaying them with great results. And of course, James's main focus this year is Carrera Cup Great Britain. And like I say, he's doing his preparation here in the Middle East, and obviously on a rapid learning process, and definitely doing a good job. He's second in the championship currently, second place in the race yesterday. One of the drivers that I mentioned got caught out by the red flag, so he's definitely got some work to do, but this is what he's here for, this is what he's here to do, obviously to learn and to experience new things.
So, what could I ask him? Tell me.
I don't know, what's his plan for turn one would be a good start.
Okay, so let's see, he's giving a little autograph here. Oh, are you happy?
Yes.
Cool. So, yeah, James, a little unlucky in qualifying today, and Harry King just said, ask him what's the plan for turn one?
Get another good start, I think, and we'll see how it goes. Obviously, qualifying just clipped the barrier, turn two. Yeah, and lost it slightly, so slightly out of position, but fully focused on going forward, and yeah, we'll see how the race goes.
Good luck, James. So 6th position, and we have to clear the grid, and well, looking forward to a really great race, everyone, and yeah, enjoy with your commentator, Scott.
Thank you, Eric. I think you said it just right. We are in for a pretty exciting race, given there are one or two drivers that are out of position. Now, I must admit, I wasn't aware that James Wallace had actually clipped the wall in turn two in one of his laps, so that's the reason why he's back in 6th position. But he is known for rapid starts, and if you look at his finishing results, he hasn't finished a race so far this season off the podium. He's had 3 third places to begin the season, and he's on currently a run of 4 second place finishes. If he can do it again and pick his way through the first few laps, he could definitely be in contention for a podium once more. There once again a shot of Caleb Sumich, second on the grid. He's on that front row spot. They were practicing starts at the end of Friday testing. They were lining up kind of 2 by 2s. They'd send 2 cars forward. They'd set off the sequence of 5 red lights, F1 style, and then away they went. It was like watching street races racing between the traffic lights at night. It was fantastic to see. And of course these cars, these 4-litre flat 6 Porsche Carrera Cup cars make such a fantastic noise. It's certainly an experience to behold. There's a shot of Søren Spreng from GP Elite, the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland Pro-Am champion. He has just behind him on the 5th row of the grid this man, Shahib Al-Habsi, where if you squint and look very carefully, his livery looks very much like a Le Mans winning Group C sports car from the late 1980s that sported the logo of a big cat, and certainly one of the best looking cars on the grid, in my humble opinion. This is a shot of Banksy, double Dubai Masters class winner. He is the man from Japan. He's had some great driver coaches the last couple of weeks. Regular in Porsche Carrera Cup Japan, some strong results throughout his career, and certainly looking to try and push forward in his machine. And this is Alessandro Giannoni, who will start in 5th and put in a fantastic effort in qualifying earlier on this morning to get himself a very high position. Experienced Italian driver. Took his first Masters win at his first attempt earlier on yesterday and has been racing pretty strongly. Here's his teammate, Andrea Girondi. Doesn't have very much racing experience. He did take a podium in his class in Golf Pro Car not long ago, but before that, according to some social media information, he only was racing for, it took about a month's worth of testing, had done some track days, and to be that far up and getting class wins is very impressive. Speaking of impressive, that young lady is also rather rapid, Alexandra Vateva. She's got a real potential of getting a class podium here. Started from 7th, 1 or 2 drivers out of position, particularly this man, Saud Al-Saud, 14th on the grid. Not where he would expect to be, considering where his previous lowest qualifying spot on the field was, in fact, only 5th, and that was twice, once at Qatar and once at Yas Marina. So he'll have a lot of work to do. He's just behind Krista Andero, who's in a different car today after he got tangled up with Saif Al-Amri in the race yesterday, and unfortunately both cars failed to make the finish. So he's in a spare car this weekend for the 2nd race and starting from 13th. So the grid is cleared, and this is how they line up then for race number 2 at Yas Marina. Janusz Stiak yet again on pole position with Caleb Sumich alongside him, the young Australian. Angus Whiteside, a much better 3rd place on the grid. He's alongside the Pro-Am pole sitter, Khaled Al-Akmadi. He's got a great chance of taking victory considering where his rivals are. Then the Masters pole, 5th, and a fantastic lap for Alessandro Giannoni. He'll start alongside James Wallace, and then Alexandra Vateva and Søren Spreng. They're surely going to battle it out for Pro-Am podium honours, along with Shihab Al-Habsi for Proton Hoover competition. He's alongside Banksy, double Dubai Masters winner. He'll be in P10. Then Andrea Girondi in the 2nd Enrico Fulgenzi Porsche. And Mike Mim, the points leader in Masters coming into the weekend, he starts 12th. Krista Andero in the spare car starts 13th alongside Saud Al-Saud. He will not stay 14th. He's going to pick his way up in the first couple of laps. Then Peter Brecker and Saif Al-Amri. Good to see him back after he was only back in Bahrain in 16th. And then Mark J. Thomas and Stanislav Minsky round out the field as the 18-strong pack heads its way off onto the formation lap. They get one single tour around the Yas Marina circuit. Again, just shy of 5.3 kilometers, 16 turns. The race 14 laps or half an hour, whichever comes first. Yesterday was disrupted by a safety car midway through. Hopefully we'll go green the full distance, but it did break things up a little bit and give one or two drivers, particularly in the Pro-Am class, the chance to close up and be in the mix for battles. So the Carrera Cup Middle East, one of 12 official championships that run within the official Porsche factory roster of championships. It earned that name starting last season, but this championship in one way, shape or form has been around in this region since the 2009-10 season, and since then it has grown in popularity, and these days getting the support of their official partners at Lechner Racing, and of course a big thank you to them, but also to their other partners at Michelin Tyres, Mobil 1, and their championship sponsors, Splendid Yachting as well. They had some of the junior drivers out on a yacht in Dubai earlier on this week, filming some content. So good to see them supporting them and the championship. And thank you to all the partners who make this happen as well. Big thank you again also to those of you watching around the world on the stream, and also to those watching around the circuit as well, whether you're in the hospitality suites or on the balconies or in the grandstands, wherever you are. Porsche Carrera Cup racing is a wonderful spectacle, and you're about to see some very entertaining racing once again. 3 classes in the championship, as they mentioned on the grid. The Pro class for the fastest drivers out there, the likes of Janis Stiak, James Wallace, Angus Whiteside and Caleb Sumich. The Pro-Am class, which is for more up-and-coming drivers or drivers that don't necessarily do it professionally, but they are up there in terms of pace. And then you have the Masters category, which is for drivers aged 40 and over. But the only requirement for them is that you cannot have held an FIA grade International A or International B race license. And it simply means that we keep the competition tight. We don't have as much as we like them. Former Grand Prix drivers or former Le Mans winners or top sports car aces who are in the sort of twilight of their careers jumping in and dominating proceedings. It keeps things as even and as close as possible, and it's mainly for the more enthusiasts, those drivers who aren't necessarily pro drivers. They do it because they are able to put themselves in that position in a cup car and race simply for the fun of it. There's a great shot there if you're watching on the stream of the cars picking their way underneath the W Hotel in the Marina section. Remember, on the full Grand Prix circuit here at the Yas Marina circuit. And that will certainly be a section that's going to be key for overtaking. This is very much a rear limited circuit. Lots of tight and twisty corners, small, slow sections with big areas that are key for traction. And all these drivers will be on a fresher set of tyres from the beginning of today. So this is their second set. They only get 2 sets per weekend, and that's crucial to try and look after them as much as possible. So tyre management here in particular is going to be absolutely key, particularly when the track temperature is around 25 degrees. Cars pulling up 2 by 2. They're not allowed to do any kind of tyre warming or practice starts on the way to the grid. Once they're onto the pit straight, that's it. You have to roll up to the grid in whatever state your tyres and brakes are in, and then we'll be getting underway shortly. There's Soudal Soud starting back in 14th. A big task for him from the 7th row, but he'll certainly be up for the challenge. It's been a fantastic adventure for 2 weeks in the UAE. We're going to finish it off here with race 2 at Yas Marina. Wait for the lights, because 18 cars go for 14 laps or half an hour, whichever comes next. Green flag at the back of the field, and the red lights come on. And race 2 at Yas Marina for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East is go. Strong start again from Paul for Janis Stiak. Much better this time with a great jump from Akkad Al-Akmadi. He makes it 3 abreast between himself, Sumich and Whiteside. They turn into turn 1, and Al-Akmadi backs out of it. It's side by side further back between Vateva and Søren Spring, as she gets boxed out between them because they've got Alessandro Giannoni in front, and Spring goes to second in Pro-Am. They're side by side for second between Whiteside and Sumich as they go 2, 3 and 4, and the Australian in front. One car running wide there is James Wallace, but he gets back onto the road, and now he's side by side with Al-Akmadi. They pile down towards turn 5 for the first time. It's action stations everywhere as the pro drivers get in the mix for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Whilst that's all happening on the exit of turn 5, Janis Stiak is just waving in his mirror saying, "Bye guys, I'm off for the lead here." And he is absolutely spread-eagling the field already. So the 18-strong pack roar their way down towards turn 6. And look at the lead Stiak has already. It's 2 by 2 for 2nd and 4th as they charge down towards the hairpin. Down the outside also, I can see Vateva looking on Søren Spring. She goes round the outside but a little too deep, has the inside line for the next corner and doesn't quite make it through. They're tussling mid-pack as well. That's Banksy on the left in yellow and black, battling with Peter Brecker in the number 85 machine. But the battle's heading downwards, and now you can see here that's especially Al-Habsi having a look up the inside to try and get past Vateva for position. Meanwhile, that is Alessandro Giannoni trying to get past Al-Akmadi. That's mainly for track position, not for class, because Giannoni leads the Masters category, but he's battling with Pro-Am leader Alec Mardi, and that's now seen trying to come through. That looks like that was Andrea Girondi coming through, getting past Zoran Spreng. So he's made up a couple of spots. And also, Spreng's dropped back because he's now behind both Vateva and Al-Habsi. So not a good first couple of corners there in the previous sequence for Zoran Spreng. And that now means that you've got, in the Pro-Am category, Alec Mardi leading, and Alexandra Vateva is second, as she's now possibly chasing after the Masters leader here, and Alessandro Giannoni. Up to the end of lap 1 then, Janis Stiak leads the way, and he's already 2.4 seconds out in front. Is there any stopping this boy? He leads the way. Caleb Sumich in second place. James Wallace is up to third now from sixth, so we told you he was a demon starter. He's picked his way past Giannoni and Alec Mardi and Angus Whiteside in that last lap. And now already the Porsche Junior GB driver, certainly proving why he's been picked as one. And up into the mix he goes. Stiak then turns his way through turn 5. Sumich in second place. Wallace chasing after him in third. Whiteside in fourth place. And this is interesting because Alec Mardi is not exactly getting away from Alessandro Giannoni, and right behind him is the young Bulgarian lady, Alexandra Vateva. 7th position. She got third place in class at Qatar. So what can she do to try and pick her way past Giannoni? If she can try and get through and chase after the leader. Battle on for second as Caleb Sumich under threat from James Wallace, who's setting him up for the undercut here on the exit of turn 6 and 7. Now they sprint through the kink of 8, and now Wallace tries to pull alongside, but Sumich trying to go defensive. The Australian is determined not to let second place go too easy. He's forcing Wallace to go a long way down the outside towards turn 9. They're side by side, and Sumich holds his ground. But Wallace has to sit back and look for the switch backing. Sumich perfectly parks it on the exit of the corner. You want to come past me, James, you might be the Porsche Junior GB. You've got to do it round the long way, sunshine. Up through the complex, through turns 10, 11 and 12. And Wallace will be getting frustrated. He has another look up the inside as they go under the W Hotel, but Sumich is holding firm. And Angus Whiteside behind them, he's in fourth place. They'll have to be careful because he might come under threat shortly from Alec Mardi in the Pro-Am class, and he's trying to escape because he knows that Alessandro Giannoni, who leads the Masters, is the only car between him and second place in the category, Alexandra Vateva. And she's got to be careful because Zoran Spreng has gotten past Shihab Al-Habsi and is now trying to chase down on her tail as they come onto the start of lap number 3. So the lead gap is now 3.7 seconds for Janis Stiak. This is pretty phenomenal stuff already. And that's exactly what can happen because the harder these two fight each other, particularly for second and third, the easier it is for Janis Stiak to make a break here. He's only just in the shot at the bottom of the screen, as now the fight's on for second backwards. Rest of the field comes pouring through. Angus Whiteside there in black and purple, holding on to fourth overall and in the pro class, ahead of the Pro-Am leader Khaled Al-Akmadi. And then the next sequence of cars is Masters leader Alessandro Giannoni in 6th position, 7th for Alexandra Vateva, and then Zoran Spreng just behind in 8th place. James Wallace closing back on the brakes, gives him a little helpful nudge through 6 and 7. Come on, Caleb, get on with it. I want to get past here. There's a position at stake. I want second place. And he wants to try, if he can, to chase after Janis Stiak, and he knows the longer he's stuck behind the Australian, the quicker his chances will diminish of trying to catch him. And now towards turn 9 again. Once more under brakes, and this time Wallace has track position. Caleb Sumich runs wide on the apex of turn 9. Wallace will try and squeeze alongside. They come into shot. They are side by side, and Wallace squeezes him on the exit, goes round the outside into turn 10, and James Wallace from 6th on the grid is up to 2nd place. Now, up into the runner-up spot, but now the question is, does he have any pace at all to try and chase after the leader, Janis Stiak? He's had clear track in front of him, has the young German. The gap was 3.7 seconds. He's done a fastest first sector of anyone so far. And Wallace's sector was about 2/10 slower. Sumich was about 1/10 slower than him. But now that Wallace is in front and has got a couple of seconds gap in front, he might well try and take full advantage. They come in at the end of lap number 3. And so the gap is now 4.8, so nearly 5 seconds in 3 laps is pretty astonishing. Looking further back in lap times, so Sumich now in 3rd place, Angus Whiteside in 4th, but holding off Pro-Am leader Alec Mardi. And still not budging is that scrap for 6th and 7th, but Alexandra Vateva holding her own pace-wise. But both Giannoni and Vateva have got to be careful because Zoran Spreng is right there behind them and was 3/10 quicker. Now, is Vateva going to line up here for a move up the inside? Giannoni goes defensive. She thinks about it, but Giannoni has to go defensive. Because Vateva followed him, this might be a better exit for Zoran Spreng, but here comes the young Bulgarian up the inside. She's got the run she needs on the exit of the corner, and now it's a drag race between the pair. Giannoni on the left, Vateva on the right, and Zoran Spreng has the toe from the Italian. They charge down towards turn 6, and here comes Spreng. Is it going to be 3 wide down towards turn 6? It might well be. Vateva in the middle, Spreng on the inside line. Giannoni breaks later on the outside. Now it's side by side between Spreng, and Spreng gets them both. Spreng goes up from 8th to 6th in one move. He read that absolutely perfectly. He got the toe from Giannoni, swept to the inside of both of them, beat them both under brakes, and the Pro-Am champion for Carrera Cup Deutschland in 2024 is up 2 places and into 2nd in class. Now then, now that Zoran Spreng's got away, can Alexandra Vateva get past Giannoni here? Again, they're not fighting for position in class because Giannoni is a Masters driver. It's purely for track position. And Alexandra also knows she's got to get past him, otherwise Zoran Spreng would use the clear track he's got in front of him for the moment to escape up the road. Getting close again, just wiggling around. She's getting a little bit frustrated, but she's got to keep her cool here. She'll have had the briefing from her driver coach, rookie Super Cup champion from last year, Robert DeHaan, just saying you've got to find a bit more aggression, but just stay cool. Yellow flag briefly at turn 10 on my timing stream, but it's now quickly flashed off the screen as quickly as it came on. But at the moment, it is 2nd in Pro-Am for Zoran Spreng, 3rd for Vateva. And lap time-wise, she lost a bit of time to Shihab Al-Habsi as well. So the pack heads out of turn 1. 4 laps in the books, on to lap 5. And this is a similar situation as we continue to watch this fight for 7th and 8th position. Very similar to that of the battle we had between between Vateva and Al-Habsi, and it was Al-Habsi who was kind of frustrating Vateva a little bit because it looked as though clearly she had a bit more pace to try and get past, but just couldn't seem to find the move. And Jana Stiak continues to disappear up the road. The gap has stabilised a bit. It's still 5.5 seconds, but the last lap was a new fastest lap of the race again for Jana Stiak, 156.128. Continue to watch this battle that goes on for 6th, 7th, 8th, then almost maybe 9th, because that's them battling over the Pro-Am 2nd and 3rd place podium. The outlier there is Alessandro Giannoni, but remember he is one of 3 cars, including Al-Habsi, who is not in the mix for points. They're here essentially as guest drivers, so essentially the points for the Masters win would effectively, if you like, go to Banksy, even though they're not separate points tables. It's wherever you finish, essentially, is what you get the points, effectively. Through the complex. Back through the W Hotel. Looking further back, this is, on the left, Saif Al-Amri back in 16th place, and Mark J. Thomas in 17th. Now, one thing to note as well is that Saud Al-Saud, who we talked about, was the Pro-Am points leader, started back in 14th. He's up to 10th. And his last couple of laps have been, well, he wasn't as quick as Shihab Al-Habsi last time. He was 4/10 off. And again, I imagine, looking at lap times, I think it is more Vateva running to Giannoni's pace rather than Vateva being outright, rather than being as on similar one, because I think Vateva can definitely go quicker, but she's just caught up behind Giannoni and not able to fully make a move. Let's focus further back on the field. We've got assisting Krista Andero go through in the 2nd of the Enrico Fulgenzi cars of Andrea Girondi, and then Saif Al-Amri, Peter Brecker, and Mark J. Thomas. Good to have Mark back in the championship this weekend after he missed Dubai due to illness. His car sadly was sat on the jacks in the pit lane all weekend, but good to see the Canadian up to full strength again and back on track. Just at the top of the shot there, you saw in the background was Stanislav Minsky, the Kyrgyzstani driver, who is at the rear of the field. So we're coming up towards half distance. We've had 5 laps completed, 9 to go. We're on lap 6. Look at the fight here for 3rd and 4th and 5th position. Angus Whiteside and Khaled Al-Akmadi for 4th and 5th place on the road. Akmadi, of course, still the fairly comfortable Pro-Am leader, but there is Zoran Spreng in the background in the blue and yellow number 5. And looking at lap times between himself and Zoran Spreng was half a second quicker last time. both on personal best, but it was a 157.2 for Akmadi, a 156.7 for Spreng. So he's pulled away from the on-track battle behind him between Giannone, Vateva and Al-Habsi. And in terms of laps, Saud Al-Saud is not lapping quicker than the cars in front at the moment. He's got 2.3 seconds to find on Al-Habsi, and his last lap was 0.3 slower than the Omani driver, so he's not closing in massively. So he's just keeping his powder dry maybe in this first part of the race in order to attack later in the second half. So across the line, and just looking at that battle, the closest battle on track is still between 7th and 8th on the road, between Giannone and Vateva. And this is a carbon copy of what happened yesterday. Vateva on the tail of the car in front, but just needs to find that opportunity, because at the moment it's just getting quite close. Now, cars 50 and 23, which is Alec Mardi and Wallace at turn 3, incident noted. We did see Wallace run wide on the exit of turn 3, so there was a bit of a tussle between them. It's been noted, so nothing being investigated there, and hopefully that'll stay the case. Vateva flashing the headlights. Surely she's got to make a move here. Surely she has to go inside or outside somewhere, but Giannone think a little bit better on the brakes. I think what she's trying to do is just distract him a little bit and force him to run wide in the braking zone. Slightly tidier exit through 7 there for the Bulgarian. And she closes back in. Now, is she going to make a dive here towards turn 9? She's in the tow. She surely has to go for it this time. Headlights flashing. Is she going to dive to the inside line here, down towards turn 9? No, Giannone a bit better on the brakes. Because she make him outbrake himself? No, not either. Alessandro quite experienced, but Vateva trying to pull alongside. There's a small bit of contact, and twice they both went off the road, and Giannone's slowed up. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Al-Habsi goes through. That was very confusing. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it almost looked like there was a piece of contact, and then it sort of slowed up a little bit. Vateva had nowhere to go. That is very bizarre, but what it has done now is given Shahab Al-Habsi 3rd in class, and also has got through is Saud Al-Saud. So Vateva then has dropped now to 5th in class in one move, and that, I'm slightly baffled by that, but we'll move on. So the order changes. It's now Giannone in 8th position, Saud Al-Saud up to 9th, and Vateva's down to 10th. And Banksy's not too far away either, 2nd in Masters. And he could take full advantage here too. He's not that far away from Giannone. They're on the same straight now. So let's see what can be possible here. Half distance in this race, 7 laps completed, 7 to go. Of course, there is a time limit of 30 minutes. So it's whichever one we reach first. And at the moment, we are on the course to complete the 14 laps. No safety cars or anything that's caused a disruption in the race, touch wood. Checking back in with our scrap for 4th place on screen. Angus Whiteside now with Pro-Am leader Alec Mardi on his tail. Looking at lap times last time by, Alec Mardi was 0.3 quicker on the last lap. And the scuffle there between Giannone and Vateva has kind of broken up that podium battle now for 3rd in Pro-Am, which is a bit of a shame because it's looking to be something quite interesting. Out of turn 9. And Caleb Sumich isn't too far away up the road either. Both Wallace and Sumich set personal best last time, and Wallace is lapping on roughly around the same sort of pace at the moment now between himself and Stiak. It's only about a 10th off at this point. He matched him in the first sector on this lap, lost 2/10 in the second sector, and the gap stabilises at about 7 seconds between Stiak and Wallace out in front. Crosses the line to complete another lap. Looking now at this scrap for position between Giannone, Al-Saud and Vateva. And now it's Al-Saud's turn to put the pressure on the Italian. Vateva staying with the Pro-Am points leader. So there's pace in there. It's just maybe the confidence on the brakes that needs a bit of work. Out of turn 1. So Giannone for Enrico Fulgenzi Racing in black and yellow. It's the white and green Saudi racing car of Saud Al-Saud, and then in silver and pink with the orange stripe down the middle. Here's Alexandra Vateva. They're back towards turn 5. They're all just be a bit more defensive, and Vateva's right there. She's locked under the rear wing of Saud Al Saud, so she's definitely pushing. And I did wonder, starting this further back in the field, whether or not Saud would have the pace to go through. No denying the fact he's a quick driver, being the Pro-Am points leader, but just being that further back might have taken a bit of a hit to his confidence. And because of that, he's now sort of mired in 9th position, still in 4th in class, but not where he wants to be, and that will certainly be one of his results that he will look back on as not being ideal. His worst result of the season was 11th, and that was back in the 2nd race at Qatar. So it's not his worst result yet at the moment, still running in 9th. It will be his worst result since then if he stays where he is. Other than that, he's been running around just inside or just outside the top 5. So work to do. And again, can't feel he's being a little bit stuck behind Giannoni, but it's on genuine pace because Giannoni is holding his own in 5th position. In 8th, forgive me. And again, remember, this is his first appearance in the championship, not his first time at the circuit, because the team are running in the 24-hour series in both of the main endurance races around this time of year in the 24-hour series, the Dubai 24 hours and the Abu Dhabi 6 hours. They're running around here for a quarter of a day in these 992 Cup cars. So they know this circuit a little well and bedded themselves in yesterday. Looked pretty strong in qualifying earlier on this morning, and now they've got themselves into fairly solid positions. Giannoni in 8th place, his teammate Andrea Girondi down in 14th. And just behind them, it's this trio. You've got Matt J. Thomas, who is trying to make a move on Petr Brekker here. But the Czech driver, who is running for GT Sports Technology, just holds firm on the racing line and holds the place. That's over at 16th place as they turn their way out through turns 2, 3 and 4 underneath the bright sunshine of the Yas Marina circuit. Just in front of them, we've got Mike Mim battling for 12th place. He came into the weekend as the Masters points leader. Had a chat with him at lunch. He's in good spirits and enjoying the championship. He does his racing over in North America, both in the Sprint Cup Challenge and also in the Endurance Challenge as well. So he's got experience in these cars both in long and short distance racing. Certainly enjoying the experience all the way. Still, the battle goes on for 4th between Angus Whiteside and Khaled Al-Akmadi. Just going through the shot there, you saw first of all James Wallace in 2nd place, and now Caleb Sumich. Then the 2 cars battling over 4th position. I was keeping an eye also on Zoran Spreng in 2nd in Pro-Am and 6th in class, because the last lap time by Al-Akmadi was quicker by a 10th, and that gap has stabilised between them at about 2.7 seconds at this point. So it looks as though, touch wood, unless anything happens to Al-Akmadi, we might well have our top 3 in Pro-Am just about settled, because in 3rd in class and 7th overall now is Shihab Al-Habsi, the Omani driver. And just again keep an eye on that battle between these 3 behind them. And still, Alessandro Giannoni is running at the same pace as these 2, and they're almost being forced to run at his pace because they can't seem to find a way through. He seems to be much more confident under brakes than the 2 cars behind, and they're closing up now. And this might become a 4-car fight soon, because Banksy's not too far away there. The Japanese driver in the Masters class took 2 victories at Dubai last time in category. They sweep their way through turns 2, 3 and 4, down the hill, under the Richard Mille sign and up towards the turn 5 hairpin. And again, it's a more sort of tighter entry to the corner for Giannone. And he gets a nice wider exit to go onto the back straight. As we watch Whiteside, Al-Akmadi and Zoran Spreng come into the complex, followed by Al-Habsi. The next 4 cars come into shot, and Bateva was on the tail of Saud Al Saud. She's close, here she comes, up the inside under braking for turn 6. Can she make it through? Yes, up the inside she goes. That's another place gain in Pro-Am. And that's the confidence that she's looking for. Under brakes, that's the opportunity, and she went, right, let's go for it. And it worked. So good effort, and a pass on no less than the Pro-Am points leader. That'll give her some confidence. Now then, can she do the same to close back in and pass on Alessandro Giannoni? It was right here on the exit that they had a very strange moment where they kind of just had a tiny tap between each other, and then what happened next I can't really quite explain. But now Bateva finds some confidence in the latter part of the race here. Unfortunately, I think her chance for podium may well be gone because Al-Habsi is some 4.8 seconds up the road. But now she's managed to make the move. You can see her, she's visibly quicker than Giannoni here. So she's got to find a way through surely. Flashing the headlights, has a look through turn 15, staying close, but Saud Al-Saud is there as well. He might retaliate in a moment if he gets an opportunity. If these two battle too much and cause an opening, the Pro-Am points leader will certainly be straight in there. No questions asked. 11 laps completed. We're on to lap 12 of this second race of the weekend for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. Second race of round 4. We already had rounds at Bahrain, supporting World Endurance Championship at the end of last year, and shortly after that at the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar, supporting Formula 1. Then there was a short break until we got our UAE double-header here last weekend at the Dubai Autodrome, this weekend here at Yas Marina. And after this weekend, the drivers have got to wait nearly 3 months until they're back on track once again in this region, because the last 2 meetings will once again be supporting F1 at the Bahrain Grand Prix, back on the international circuit there, and then onto the circuit at Jeddah, and a yellow flag at turn 4. That's the reason why. Round has gone Mike Mim. Actually at turn 5, I think, around he's gone, and also so is Saif Al-Amri. Okay. Oh, and so is, I think, that was also Andreas Girondi also going wide as well. Now, I'm not a clerk of the course, so I'm not going to put 2 and 2 together. We'll let them sort that out. Here on my ears, they all spun together, so whether they all jumped, whether they were pushed, we'll wait for the clerk of the course to have a look at that. Meanwhile, this has now allowed both Mark J. Thomas and Peder Brekker, who have now switched positions. So Mark J. Thomas up into well, what's now, that'll be 13th now, won't it? Because they've all got past Mim, Al-Amri and Girondi now, so they've now moved up 3 positions. Meanwhile, back to our fight for position for 8th. And again, you can see just Vateva in that 56 car just posturing around the rear end of Giannoni's number 44. 2 laps to go now, so if she's going to make this move stick, she's got to try and make it now in these next 2 laps. And she knows that she's also under pressure from behind, because Saud Al-Saud will be there, closing back up under brakes, and you'll have that better exit off the corner, a little wiggle of oversteer. She's getting a tiny bit frustrated, but surely that pass has to come. Keep applying the pressure, and Saud Al-Saud has a look up the inside behind her, but the line is covered off neatly, can't make it through. And this is the thing, it's not a great situation to be in as a driver, because you're having to focus on the car in front and the car behind, and you've got to both be the hunter and the hunted. So trying to concentrate on 2 things at once is never an easy thing. And so it's not a position that every driver wants to be in when they're trying to attack and defend. And I think Vateva just trying to set herself up for a better, stronger exit off the hairpin. And she can get a good toe down the back straight. There's a good chance she might try and catch him down towards here. Now, she did this once on Al-Saud into the turn 6 complex. She's got the pace and the toe down towards here. She might try and do it again. She's not too close enough unless she makes a dive. Slightly neater on the brakes. Close back up again, and Banksy's also caught these 3 now. He fully has joined the train. He's made the trio a quartet. And this is over the last top 10 positions. It's over 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. Past the support pits, which they use for the corkscrew circuit, which the F4 and Formula Regional Middle East Championships were using earlier on this week. Yes, I did say this week as in midweek. They do race midweek here where possible in Abu Dhabi. And onto the last lap we go. And this man, well, you run out of superlatives to describe this man, because Janusz Stiak, he's came, he's seen, and currently he's conquering in this championship. He's now practically 10 seconds to the good ahead of James Wallace, and the man who became the youngest ever race winner in Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland history last year at the Sachsenring has been on an upward trajectory ever since then. He did feature in the championship here last year. He was teammate to the eventual champion Theo Overhaus. Of course, he's now gone on to become a Porsche Junior for 2025, and now side-by-side for position. Alexander Vateva trying to go for 8th place on Giannoni, going round the outside at turn 1. Brilliant move round the outside. That's what you want to see. And up into position she goes, so up into 8th place. And again, that will give her confidence. It will give her driver coach Robert De Haan confidence, and I'm certain she'll have enjoyed that. Now then, Giannoni under threat this time for Saud Al-Saud. Is he about to lose another place here to the Pro-Am points leader? Up towards turn 5, having a look up the inside. Here he goes. He locks up on the inside line. Just about avoids contact. Almost runs deep into the corner. And Giannoni says, oh, if you're going to do that then, bye. And back through he goes. And now look at Banksy in black and yellow. He's going to come up the inside here, and it'll be another place lost for Soudal Sound if he's not too careful to defend it. Down the back straight, Banksy slots back into the toe, and you can see, look, already just in front. Look at how quickly Vateva's started to pull away as Banksy dives up the inside into turn 6. Through he goes, and that is now 10th place for the Japanese driver. Soudal Sound tries to get the better traction on the exit. He'll pull level as they sprint back towards the turn 9, but up to the final couple of corners. Again, you cannot stop saying great things about this man. He will certainly be one to watch for in whatever he races this year, whether it's Super Cup or Deutschland or anywhere else. And once again, he takes another dominant victory, a 7th win of the season for Janis Stiak. He continues to extend his lead in the championship. Victory once more for Janis Stiak in race 2 at Yas Marina in Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. The domination once again extends. 2nd place for James Wallace from 6th on the grid. That's a great result for him despite his tough qualifying. And another podium finish goes the way of Caleb Sumich in 3rd position. So he'll be delighted with more silverware from his trip to the Middle East. Khaled Alakmadi finishes in 5th place and takes the Pro-Am victory as Angus Whiteside takes 4th. It is Zuren Spreng in 6th position, 2nd in class. Al Habsi takes 3rd in class. And Alexandra Vateva will come across the line in 8th position, in 4th in class. But she will certainly be frustrated that she couldn't get a class win. But still, she pulled off a couple of very decent overtakes. And that will certainly be something she can work on for the next rounds at Bahrain in a few months' time. It is then 9th for Alessandro Giannoni, who does take the Masters victory, and only just from 1.2 seconds from Banksy. And Soudal Sound, despite starting back in 14th, didn't charge through the way we thought he might have the potential to do. And he has to settle for 5th in class and 11th overall. So here is 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Janis Stiak, and this is pretty much the closest time, apart from the start, that James Wallace and Caleb Sumich have been all day, because on the slowdown lap, this is the next chance they've had to see him. It has been, once more, total and utter domination of this championship. He really is replicating the efforts of his teammate from last year, Theo Overhaus, and it would not surprise me if he goes forwards into another campaign of Carrera Cup Deutschland and becomes one of the leading stars there this weekend, this season. And many say that the Carrera Cup Deutschland Championship is the toughest and most competitive championship outside the Super Cup. Some even say it's tougher than the Super Cup. That's arguable, but the Deutschland Championship, the national championship for Porsche in its homeland, and Janis certainly came good in the 2nd half of the year, and now this will be the perfect preparation to set him up for a full campaign in Germany and wherever else he may race this season. Ditto for the likes of James Wallace. That will give him some confidence to pick his way through from 6th to 2nd. It also keeps up his 100% podium record in this championship. It's another 2nd place, and that was his 5th 2nd place in a row. So he hasn't finished, he's finished every single race and hasn't finished off the podium all season either. So that's really impressive from James, and even though he might have dropped more points, certainly impressing a lot of people in this championship, and again, justifying the fact that he is the Porsche Junior GB representative. He'll certainly want to put on a great performance in Carrera Cup GB. And also Caleb Sumich. Not quite sure if he's doing any of the rounds in Bahrain or in Jeddah, but if this is his only appearance here this week in this 2 rounds at Dubai and Yas Marina, what an impact he's made, and also he will certainly take confidence going into his full campaign in Carrera Cup Australia. But up to number 1 board, becoming a familiar sight and a familiar task for Janis Stiak as he pulls up in Parc Ferme. And you can see plenty of the team down there to congratulate them. And as the car, if you're on the circuit, give him a cheer. Janis Stiak, 7th win of the season in Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, a number 1 sign. And certainly putting himself firmly in the right frame of mind and the right scenario to become the champion. There's still 2 more rounds to go, still 4 more races to run. But I'm certain that another strong performance in Bahrain will pretty much give him one hand on the trophy. But we've still got the final third of the season to run. Still smiles for the Wallace camp as he gets out and removes his balaclava. And another decent podium finish for James from 6th on the grid. Of course, all the cars now going to Parc Ferme now, so they are unable to be touched by the crew members. And Caleb Sumich as well will get out of the car and be very, very satisfied with 3rd place overall and another trophy to take away home to Australia. And again, victories for Khaled Al-Akmadi in Pro-Am class, and the Masters top 3 in the end was Alessandro Giannoni with the victory, with Banksy in second place, and then Krista Andero in third. So let's hear from our top 3 down at the Part Fermi section with Eric Engese and our race winner, Janis Diak.
Thank you, Scott, and seems like I have the same appointment like yesterday, and congratulations. I could imagine winning is not getting boring, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. No, it was this time a pretty good start, and also the rest of the race. For me, yeah, I could drive alone, yeah, but try to drive as constant as possible, and yeah, of course, very happy about the victory.
Yeah, you gave us a bit of excitement with not the best starts in the past, so now 100%. So was that the perfect job today?
I would say not 100%.
Ah, come on.
But yeah, of course, the start was good, and also the rest of the race was, yeah, pretty good car I had, and yeah, thanks to the team. Yeah.
So 4 victories, Dubai and here, quite a nice trip to the UAE.
Yeah, of course, I tried to do in Bahrain again.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Janne. Well, and let's see where are the guys that gave us a bit of excitement. James, maybe you come here to me to answer some questions. Yesterday he was at the restroom. Now he's here talking, having a little chat. James, congratulations. From P6 now to P2, and you had quite a nice fight with Caleb. Bring us a little bit through it.
Yeah, I mean, didn't get the best of starts as like I usually do, but we managed to move forward, take our opportunities when they came out, and I think they were sensible ones also. It wasn't anything crazy. Obviously, Janne got away early on, so I think that race was done, but yeah, it was an intense first few corners, I think, and capitalized on the gaps which were there.
Yeah, it was nice to watch, so thanks for giving us this excitement. And well, how would you sum up your trip to the UAE after a lot of track time and a lot of racing?
Lots of nice food.
Food!
Yeah, lots of good restaurants around here. Warm compared to the UK. Bit sad to be going back there, to be honest. Would have definitely liked to have had a few more days to rip around these cars around the wonderful Yas Marina circuit. And I mean, what a fantastic event Lechner Racing and the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East have put on here. It's great to also see all the fans here getting so close and involved, and thank you all for supporting and coming.
Thank you very much. Congratulations one more time, and well, time for another trophy for you as well. And Caleb, he's on his way to me. Caleb, congrats, another podium. I could imagine you would have preferred to finish on second position, but you gave us such a nice show. Bring us a little bit through your race.
Yeah, I would love to finish second or first, but I'm happy with third. Had some good racing with James, but just didn't really have the pace. But it is what it is. I had fun, had a couple laps of racing, and then, yeah, learning lots this weekend and last weekend in Dubai. It was the best experience I've had, so yeah.
So I could imagine it was worth coming here to the UAE.
Yeah, 100%. Is learnt so much, and especially these amazing tracks. We don't have tracks like this in Australia, so it's really good learning. And getting the hang of a cup car is really good. So yeah.
I could imagine. And now getting another trophy is also quite a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully you've got some room in the suitcase to fit another one in. So, but yeah, it should be good. I'm glad I come third. I'm super stoked. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, congratulations one more time. Thank you. And Scott, well, time for the ceremony.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Eric. We'll be going to the podium ceremony in a very shortly, once we're getting all set up. Just once we've got time to do that, just to reflect on that race once more. And the good to see the likes of James Wallace and Caleb Sumich enjoying their time here in the UAE. And excellent results from them all forwards. And again, they've got a couple of months now to try and work out the ultimate question. How do you stop Janis Diak? 7 wins out of 8 races. This boy certainly is going to take some task to try and knock him off the top spot. Only one person's done it, Colin Berninghausen, and that was back in Bahrain in race 2. But since then, he's literally won at unbeaten in the last 3 events, at Qatar, at Dubai, and this weekend at Yas Marina as well. And I'm sure that James Wallace will go back to the UK, as will I, after this weekend, to reflect on what happened and get themselves ready for the new season. Of course, they'll be back in this region for the last 2 events at Bahrain and Jeddah Corniche for the Formula 1 support races. and that will work well too. Khaled Al-Akmadi taking the Pro-Am victory ahead of Zoran Spreng and Shihab Al-Habsi. And in the Masters category, we had Alessandro Giannone taking another victory, 2 wins out of 2 for his visit to the Yas Marina in this championship. And the Banksy driver in 2nd position, and Krista Andero in 3rd. Have to say big thank yous. So we'll go to the results and give some thank yous in a second. But there's the result. Once again, a familiar sight at the top of the timing screen. Janusz Stejak victorious by 10.2 seconds in the end from James Wallace in P2 from 6th on the grid. That's one of his best performances to date, even though he came up in the runner-up spot. Still a strong drive from the Porsche Junior GB. Caleb Sumich was 3rd. And once again, another podium for the Australian before he heads back to Down Under to prepare for his Porsche Carrera Cup Australia campaign. Angus Whiteside 4th, and then Khaled Al-Akmadi in 5th position. Zoran Spreng, who's 2nd in Pro-Am behind the class winner Al-Akmadi. Then Shihab Al-Habsi will also go away from Yas Marina with a class podium in 3rd place. Alejandra Vateva managed to pull off a couple of strong overtakes to eventually finish 8th, but she was in contention certainly for a podium finish. Alessandra Giannone is once again the Masters winner in 9th place from Banksy in P10. Then Saud Al Saud, who didn't quite rise up from 14th in the end. His pace wasn't quite there, getting stuck in the midfield. He ends up 11th. But should still lead the Pro-Am points, leaving Yas Marina. Then it's Krista Andero in the spare car running in 12th, ahead of Mark J. Thomas in 13th. Peter Brecker 14th, and Saif Al-Amri in 15th, who recovered after a spin up at turn 4, as did also Andrea Girondi and Mike Mim in 16th and 17th. And Stanislav Minsky kept himself out of trouble to finish 18th for Team GP Elite. We'll just say some thank yous. First of all, if you might indulge you for a second, it's been my first time covering these championships, both in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. It's a fantastic couple of weekends. So thank you for having myself on the microphone and for having me here in these past couple of weekends. And thank you to, of course, Lechner Racing, who are the official partners of the championship. Thank you to Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, to the championship sponsors, which is, of course, Michelin and Mobil One, and also Splendid Yachting as well. Thank you to all of them. And thank you to all the fans that we've had here at Yas Marina. Please stick around the pit lane if you are there for the podium ceremony. It's going to be a fantastic occasion, giving the trophies out to our drivers. Thanks to all the teams, the drivers, everyone's been in attendance here, both in Yas Marina and at Dubai Autodrome as well on top of that. And thanks to you for watching, whether you're online on YouTube, but also to our viewers in Motorsport TV around the world as well. Hello to all of you too. We're going to head in some highlights from race number 2. There's plenty of action to watch through here, and we'll be set very shortly in a few moments' time to get underway with our podium ceremony for race 2 of round 4 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East Championship here in Yas Marina. So stay tuned, enjoy the highlights and the sights and sounds, and we'll get underway with the podium in a few moments' time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting set for the podium presentations for race 2 of round 4 of the 2024-25 Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East Championship. We will start first of all with the overall podium, so be sure to shout and cheer and make some noise for the drivers as they come onto the podium. So first of all, in third place from Australia, please make some noise for Caleb Sumich. Young Australian enjoying his visit to the UAE with 2 podiums, a second of the weekend here at Yas Marina. In second place from 6th on the grid, a fantastic drive for the Porsche Junior GB. Make some noise for James Wallace. A fine effort from the 3rd row on the grid and keeps up his 100% podium record from the championship. But with a 7th win from 8 races, there is simply no stopping him. Make some noise for your race 2 winner at Yas Marina, Janusz Stiak. German once again showing his dominance, winning by just over 10 seconds. A magnificent effort. And as he stands onto the top step of the podium, first of all, let's observe for the winning driver the national anthem of Germany. The national anthem for the winning driver from Germany. And to present the winning trophy to Janusz Stiak, Wissam Khalil, the general manager of Ali & Sons, will present the trophy to the man on the top step of the podium, Janusz Stiak. Congratulations to Jana. The second place trophy presented to James Wallace, presented by Stuart Latham, the track and community engagement director of Yas Marina Circuit, to James Wallace. And the third place trophy presented by Walter Lechner Jr., Technical Director of Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East and Lechner Racing, presented to Caleb Sumich from Australia. And one more trophy to present here, that's for the rookie winner, which once again is Janusz Stiak, and once again presented by Wissam Khalil, General Manager of Ali & Sons, to the man on the top step of the podium, your rookie winner, Janusz Stiak. And once again, if we can have the top 3 on the middle of the podium together for a group photo. And you might want to duck and cover because they're about to pop the corks on the fizz and celebrate in fine style. Your top 3 overall. Third place, Caleb Sumich. Second place, Janusz Stiak. And your winner for the 7th time, Janusz Stiak. So the fizz goes flying, and congratulations to our top 3. Well done. As they will move off the podium. And they will head forwards as we move on to our next podium. One more time for our top 3 overall. Third place, Caleb Sumich. Second place, James Wallace. And winner, Janusz Stiak. So off the podium come our top 3 overall. Now we move on to our Pro-Am top 3. So once again in reverse order. Please welcome in third place from Oman for Proton Huber competition, Shihab Al-Absi. Yamani driver putting on a great performance to pick up the final step on the Pro-Am podium and a much deserved trophy. In second place after another fine drive and another quick start from Germany for Team GP Elite, it's Sören Sprang. Excellent job by the Pro-Am champion from last year's Carrera Cup Deutschland. and a much-earned second place in class. And victory once again for the second time this weekend from Saudi Arabia for Saudi Racing. Make some noise for your Pro-Am winner, Khaled Al Akmadi. Punches the air with delight, and rightfully so. Up to the top step of the podium goes Khaled Al Akmadi, and he'll be presented by the winning trophy in Pro-Am once again by Wissam Khalil, and he'll present it to the man on the top step of the podium, Khaled Al Akmadi for Saudi Racing. He receives the trophy. And now moving on to second place in class, which goes to Zuren Spreng, and presented once again by Stuart Latham of Yas Marina Circuit, and presenting it to the German, and Zuren Spreng in second place. And the third place trophy going to Shihab Al-Habsi, once again presented by Walter Lechner Jr. from Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, and Lechner Racing to the Omani driver, and a much earned trophy for him to take home. And so once again, if we can have our top three on the top step of the podium together for a group photo. And one more time, show your appreciation for third place in Pro-Am, Shihab Al-Habsi, second place, Zuren Spreng, and your Pro-Am winner for race 2, Khaled Al Akmadi. Congratulations to our Pro-Am drivers as they make their way off the podium. And we now move on just waiting for the podium to clear for a second. And we can now move on to our Masters podium for our top three. So once again, in reverse order, please welcome onto the podium from Sweden in third position, Krista Andero. Swede bouncing back after a tangle yesterday, but good to see him on the third step of the podium in the Masters class. In second place, another fine performance from Japan, it's Banksy. Double Dubai winner, once again taking home more trophies for the mantelpiece before they go back out once again in Bahrain. And your winner for the second time this weekend in the Masters class for Enrico Fulgenti race from Italy. Please make some noise for Alessandro Giannone. A worthwhile trip to the UAE and joining in with Carrera Cup Middle East, Alessandro, his second win of a championship in Masters class and of the weekend too. And he gets the first place trophy presented to him for Masters once again by Wissam Khalil, General Manager of Ali & Sons, presented to Alessandro Giannone, gets the handshake. Congratulations. The second place trophy in class, once again presented by Stuart Latham, the Track and Community Engagement Director of Yas Marina Circuit, and that goes to Banksy from Japan. And the third place trophy going to Krista Andero from Sweden, presented by Walter Lechner Jr., Technical Director of Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East and Lechner Racing. And if our top three can also, once again, stand in the middle together on the top step of the podium together. We can get you all three together on the top step. And once again, a round of applause for our top three in Masters. Third place, Krista Andero. Second place, Banksy. And a second Masters winner of the weekend at Yas Marina for Alessandro Giannone. Excellent effort from our Masters drivers, and off the podium they come. Second to last set of awards is for our GCC region drivers in the field, so we'll be able to hand you the trophies in reverse order. First of all, we start with third place in GCC from Saudi Arabia for Saudi Racing. Make some noise for Saud Al Saud. A tough qualifying, but an excellent effort in the race to pick up third in the class. He'll stand on the third step of the podium. In second place in GCC for Proton Huber competition from Oman, please welcome Shihab Al-Habsi. Up onto the second step goes Shihab in his appearance in the championship. And to go with his Pro-Am victory, first place in GCC from Saudi Arabia for Saudi Racing, make some noise for Khaled Al Akmadi. A A double victory for Khaled, Pro-Am victory, and also the GCC honours as well. Onto the top step. And once again, he's presented the first place trophy in class to Wissam Khalil, from General Manager of Ali & Sons, to the winner in category, Khaled Al-Akmadi. So Wissam Khalil can step forward and present the trophy to Khaled Al-Akmadi. Congratulations to Khaled. Once again, the second place trophy being presented to Shihab Al-Habsi by Stuart Latham, Track and Community Engagement Director of Yas Marina Circuit, to the Omani driver. Congratulations to Shihab. And the third place trophy to Saud Al Saud in GCC, presented by Walter Lechner Jr. from Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East and Lechner Racing. Congratulations. Great effort from all three. And once again, if we can have a top three together on the top step of the podium for a group photo. And once again, show your support for our top three in the GCC class. Third place for Saud Al Saud, second place Shihab Al Habsi, and your GCC winner for race 2 at Yas Marina, Khaled Al Akmadi. And just one more trophy to present, and that's for our winning team from this race. So represented by Christoph Huber, the winning team for race 2 at Yas Marina is Proton Huber Competition. So Christoph Huber, if you can make your way to the podium and receive the team trophy. Congratulations to Proton Huber Competition. And the team trophy, once again, also presented by Walter Lechner Jr., Technical Director of Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, to our winning team, Christoph Huber of Proton Huber Competition. Congratulations to Christoph and the team on team victory in race 2 at Yas Marina. And before we go, if we can also once again get all of our drivers back onto the podium for a group photo together, if you can welcome back your drivers and trophy winners from overall, from Pro-Am, from Masters and GCC. We can welcome them all back onto the podium for a group photo, please. As they make their way onto the podium, and they'll be joined by some of the key personnel from Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East and Lechner Racing for this group photo. All on the top step and around the podium together. Also with our trophy presenters as well, Wissam Khalil of Ali & Sons, Stuart Latham from the Yas Marina Circuit, and our representatives. One more time, your appreciation for our trophy winners from round 2 of race 4 of round 2 for Carrera Cup Middle East from Yas Marina. Make some noise for your trophy winners and podium finishers. And with that, that concludes our UAE adventure for our double-header here in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The next rounds of the championship will happen in a few months' time at the Bahrain International Circuit, supporting Formula 1. That's a double-header with the Jeddah Corniche Circuit. And from all of us here at Yas Marina, from myself, Scott Woodward, and everyone here at Porsche and Lechner Racing, and everyone at Yas Marina, thank you for watching and being part of the championship. We'll see you in a couple of months' time at Bahrain International Circuit. But from all of us here, thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hi. Hello. Sound check.
Hey guys, are we ready?
Six rounds.
12 races.
Tough competition.
Real racing.
From Bahrain to Saudi Arabia.
Iconic tracks.
And breathtaking destinations.
This is the second season.
This is
The Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East.
we're ready to go.
That's it?
That's it.
Danke.